Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of UCaaS Connection. My name is Larry Brantley. This program is for you, the business leaders, decision makers, and innovators in the communication space, the UCaaS space. If you design, develop, deliver, sell, or support business communication technologies, this is your show. Each week, we deliver news, product insights, industry trends, all that impact your business, your partners, and your customers. It's your story, and we're here to help you tell it. This is UCaaS Connection. The COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted businesses around the world, creating an unprecedented shift in the traditional workforce. Unified communications is more important than ever before, ensuring businesses can continue daily operations, retain their employees, and serve their customers, all while keeping them safe and healthy. Every challenge presents an opportunity to create an even better solution. Joining us today, remotely of course, is Dan Foster, Chief Revenue Officer with StratusWorks, to talk about their innovative approach with cloud workspace. Hi, Dan. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, and good afternoon.
It's nice to have you here. So, Dan, right off the bat, will you give us an overview about your company, StratusWorks?
Yeah, absolutely. StratusWorks is essentially a next-generation desktop as a service play coupled with application license management. So think of it as the need to quickly get employees out remotely, enable them with all the functionality they're used to having in the office, but also marry them to the applications, the security, really the compute and infrastructure they're used to in the four walls of an office building.
Now, I understand that a big part of that is this concept, cloud workspace. Can you tell me a little more about that and how it works?
Yeah, absolutely. Cloud workspace is essentially there's an old term called VDI, virtual desktop infrastructure, where you stand up servers and then you tunnel into those servers, and that's the old day. The new day is essentially provisioning rapid, what are called RDPs, remote desktop protocol, or in other devices, down to any laptop. It can be my son's Apple 2010 MacBook, and grab that, fire up a session, and hit something either like an Azure or an AWS data center, and immediately have almost a pixelation of all those applications and security back to what is now a dumb terminal. So it's really back to the future in terms of turning desktops into VAX or DEC, or back when, you know, old guys like me were in college and we had those. Not quite to the punch cards, but we're moving it forward quickly.
Make a very good point. So let's talk a little bit about that, because with this move to a remote workforce that, you know, most of the country is experiencing now, how has your business changed in, say, the last few weeks?
Great question. You know, we have seen just a surge in calls. Fortunately, we launched a partnership with Teleris, and in general, partners tend to be very involved in the buy cycle of their customers. And so what they see is they get the call that says, hey, I need to, over the weekend, move my employees out, or I need to be able to take credit cards securely from the home office. What can you do to help? And so the fortunate opportunity by being channel first and working with partners allows us to hear those concerns and react. In fact, just this weekend, we brought up a customer who needed to do credit card payments securely over, home office equipment. So that's a great example in terms of what we're seeing. But we're also seeing a lot of small businesses be disrupted. And so what we went out there with was a program that said we want to do what we can to help and give free service, 6 months free service for any NGO, healthcare provider, or small business that requires it. So we've got some promotions out there to also help with this movement, work from home.
That is great news. Man, I really appreciate this, Dan. And as we wrap up, I want to give you one last opportunity to tell us what is the one thing you want us to remember about StratusWorks.
Yeah, think of the use case of when you've got an engineer who is working on a construction project or a designer, and they're used to having a large tower sitting in an office, a lot of infrastructure, maybe a $7,000 machine. you need to make that person productive right away back at the home front. You can't pick up that $7,000 machine and bring it out there so they can do AutoCAD, et cetera. That's what we represent. Is we represent grabbing that compute from the office, delivering it back down to that worker who's working from home now due to the pandemic.
I think that's a great way to end. I want to thank you, Dan Foster, Chief Revenue Officer at StratusWorks. Thanks for dialing in today, and you stay safe.
Thanks, you too.
Hey, hey, Dan, while I've got you on the line, will you just talk a little bit, because I know we're going to talk about this. We're going to put it up on a screen, but you talk about the webinar coming up?
Yeah, we've got a webinar actually at the top of the hour. We do webinars almost weekly, and we did a webinar with our partners last week, and I think we had 120, so it's obviously topical with the participants, but it's going to walk you through, actually give you a live demo and watch us provision virtual machines in real time. It's always a little scary when we do it live, test our platform, but we encourage folks to go, and you can go at stratusworks.com/webinar and register. Thank you.
Oh, you bet, Dan, and you guys stay safe out there, okay?
Okay, thanks, you too.
Dan Foster, thanks for joining us today. Once again, folks, you can visit stratusworks.com to learn more, and do be sure to register for their live demo at 3 p.m. Central. That's going to be minutes after our broadcast. Now, it's only been a few weeks since most businesses have implemented work-from-home policies. Ironically, working remotely seems to have created a whole new type of connectivity, and quite frankly, we can't get enough of it.
All right, it's 1800. We'll go ahead and get started with
Captain Smith.
All right, got you, Captain Smith. I appreciate you being on. Hey, thank you everybody for joining this last-minute training meeting.
Joining.
Sí, la parte de decisión no solamente tenemos que registrar autonomía curricular y el área socioemocional de los niños, y esa parte está quedando bien.
All right, as I was saying, we wanted to have this conference call.
Joining.
Talk to you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
See you guys.
We got a lot on the plate, high op tempo, each one of these next 4 IDT periods as we continue to
Joining.
Oh my gosh.
Text a couple pictures of that.
Now joining. Name not recorded.
Wait, hold on. Name not recorded. Who was that? Who just dialed in? No. You don't get away with that. Who dialed in? I want a name. Who dialed in?
What's up?
Tony, I can see you here.
We can all see you.
Question is, how do democracies respond to those scandals?
And what will it mean for the wider region? I think one of your children has just walked in. I mean, shifting sands in the region. Do you think relations with the North may change?
I would be surprised if they do. Pardon me.
What's this going to mean for the region?
My apologies. North Korea, South.
Social distancing, it would seem, is no match for social media. Here to talk with us about the value of personal connectivity in the age of literal separation is Heather Lindemann Shelby. She's Manager of Strategic Partner Development at Intelisys. Heather, hey, how are you? Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Larry. Excited to be here.
It's a pleasure. Hey, so listen, before we begin, I want to share this image, which you posted on LinkedIn about 2 weeks ago. Now, that's you and quite a few of your colleagues having a virtual happy hour. And I'd say that in most cases, if anyone heard virtual happy hour, they'd probably roll their eyes and dismiss it. But it really looks like this is a genuinely enjoyable moment. Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it was definitely enjoyable. Ring Central actually hosted our first virtual happy hour, and they really wanted to highlight their new Ring Central video, their platform. So it was really cool. It was a great way to get together with the Ring Central and Intellisys team. Because of the situation, you know, it's the only way to actually have face-to-face contact.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. We're talking about this new connectivity and to maintaining, say, client relations.
Sure. There's so much value in video meetings. It adds an emotional element to our calls. And since we've been quarantined, I mean, everyone's looking for that human connection that we're typically used to. Mm-hmm. What I didn't expect to get out of all of my video meetings was getting to know my partners and my teammates and suppliers and even customers on a whole different level, right? We're seeing them in a different setting than we're used to. We're seeing them in their homes. We get to see their decor, their sports memorabilia, their spouses, the colors of their kitchen. And my favorite is when a kiddo pops up on video with their bed head and in their pajamas, right? Or the family dog jumps up into their lap. It's just so comforting to see. You know, we're all going through the same thing right now. Mm-hmm. We're all getting used to this new normal. And so it's comforting to connect in this way. Same thing with partners and their customers. It's really important.
That's great. Well, let's talk about this new remote workforce culture. What are you seeing providers do that has really impressed you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we had some suppliers sending out care packages to partners and customers, which I think was a really great idea. Care packages with toilet paper, paper towels, snacks, games, and even a Corona or two. The good kind, of course, the drinking kind. And we have a lot of suppliers in our portfolio who are offering special COVID assistance right now. So things like free video licensing, collaboration tools, and even no contracts to help out their customers.
That is fantastic. Heather, as we wrap up, will you tell us about some of the strategies in place or in development maybe that will be helpful to your partners?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So I'm so blessed to be a part of this industry right now where we're able to help partners actually keep their customers' businesses up and running. Intellisys has 95% of the Gartner Magic Quadrant in our portfolio, the best of breed. So many products and solutions, UCaaS, collaboration, virtual desktops, you know, work from home, other work from home solutions. So it's just really exciting to be a part of that and actually get to help. Intellisys has also created a Go Remote resource hub, and you can find that at intellisys.com/Go Remote. I highly encourage everyone to check it out. It's a great resource for partners. Our HR and legal team has actually put together a pamphlet, a resource document that will show you how to take advantage of federal funding and healthcare and loans and things like that. There's also great tips on the 3 technologies you need to basically use to help your customers transition into remote working, as well as other work from home tips for partners. All the suppliers that I mentioned before with COVID assistance offerings are also listed at that website. And if you have any questions, just reach out to your local channel manager and we're happy to help you as well.
That is all good news. Heather, Lindemann, Shelby, thank you for your time and your insights. This was not exactly a virtual happy hour, but you certainly brought the happy and we appreciate it. You take care.
Thank you, Larry. You too.
QoS is widely regarded to mean quality of service. Our next guest is Michael Brennan, Vice President and Channel Chief for QoS Networks. He's here to tell us how they deliver quality of service and a whole lot more. Michael, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Larry. Good to be here. Appreciate you having me.
Let's get right into it. Why would businesses need a co-managed solution provider like QoS?
Sure, Larry. So today, enterprises struggle to find cohesive network platforms that allow them to bring their core business infrastructure, applications, policies into that single pane of glass. At QoS, we take the dispersed network and integrate it with managed offering that gives enterprises a partner to grow and build their network stack with, right? So we simplify the edge and we optimize the network.
That's fantastic. Now, let's play a little role playing here. If I'm a CEO or I'm a CFO, I'm obviously focused on my bottom line. and that means trimming inefficiencies, among other things. So with that mindset, I've zeroed in on eliminate swivel chair management. So can you tell us a little more about that and how it can maybe negatively affect my team's productivity?
Of course. Customers spend millions on disparate systems that don't talk to each other. Integrating the edge and monitoring the connected edge means more value from each system and its components. So this means literally less swivel chairing, right, between platforms, which equates to more efficiencies and actionable data. We build correlation that identifies problems faster, creates actionable insights, and delivers a superior end user experience. And that's the value that they focus on, right? The body in the seat, their actual user who's using the applications, connecting to the apps, hitting the cloud, they need to guarantee that that user is having the ideal experience. Otherwise, it suffers.
That's a very, very good description of what you do. And so if I'm understanding all that right, how is all of this supported by your platform?
Sure. So our platform, right, at our core, we're a managed services network provider, right? That's who we are today. I like to say we're technology agnostic to the stack. We care for multiple different SD-WAN platforms, VeloCloud, Meraki, Versa, and others. We're a VeloCloud Platinum partner, but that's not really who we are. Who we are is the platform. That's the secret sauce. We're built differently. We're built through software enablement. Good way to put it.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, we don't believe in the methodology of a body and a seat per device. We leverage AI automation that provides monitored analytics, reactive management on top of that single pane of glass I mentioned earlier. We pull in network inputs from 5 different data sources, more than any other, and we provide management with the agility and visibility at the customer edge. These queries consist of APIs, SNMP, correlation, orchestration, syslog, and we do this all with an ITEL-based workflow automation. So this helps, convert legacy network management systems to modern, integrated, software-defined platforms that, enable better operational maturity.
I could not have said it better myself. And I'm going to ask you one last question. What does a QoS customer look like?
So a QoS customer, essentially, Larry, customers that will see the value in QoS, they're managing through nonstop network changes, lack of centralized management, multiple network dependencies like UCaaS, ITSM, security monitoring. Their business is undergoing digital transformation. That requires a business partner that can act with agility, deliver operational peace of mind through consulting, network design, provisioning, deployment, management, monitoring, and support. They don't realize it yet, but they want us to handle the tactical through AI automation, the day-to-day noise of the network, and provide them with the insights, visibility, and actionable data so that they can focus, on the strategy, which is what they were hired to do.
Gotcha. Couldn't have said it better myself. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Michael Brennan, Vice President and Channel Chief for QoS Networks. Michael, thank you for your time today. You stay safe.
Thanks, Larry. Have a good one.
You can learn more about QoS and the quality of their network services at QoSnet.com. Now, as I mentioned at the top of our program, this is your show. So, if you would like to be a featured guest, let us know. If we can put your company, your products, or your services in the spotlight, let us know. We are here to help you tell your story. You can visit us at ucaasbeat.com or through our UCaaS Connection social media pages. You can request an interview, submit your stories, your updates, your big wins, you name it. These are your stories, and this is your show. All right. The term master agent means a lot of things to a lot of people. Now, some of us rely on them heavily, and others may work with a master agent, but aren't really sure what that means. So today we've invited Amy Bailey, Vice President of Marketing at Telarus, to provide some helpful insights into understanding the master agent, what to look for, what to ask, and most importantly, what to expect. Good afternoon, Amy. Thanks for being here. I can see Amy, but I'm not getting any audio right now, so we'll try again. Amy, can you hear me?
I can hear you great. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. You are coming through loud and clear. Thanks again for being on the program. And first of all, tell us a little bit about your company, Telarus.
So Teleris is a master agent, and we're actually the largest privately held master agent in the country. And what that means is that we have 3 owners who really care about agents and their personal success. We have contracts with a couple hundred different providers, like the folks you had on today, QoS, and our friends over at StratusWorks, who are exclusive with Teleris. And we sign the contracts so you don't have to. I think a lot of times an agent realizes that, wow, this is a lot of legalese and mumbo-jumbo and commitments and minimums and things like that, and they don't want to have to do that. And so we take care of that for them, and we protect them in a way that they're able to then, go ahead and focus on their business and focus on selling.
Well, so that leads me to my next question. What do you think most service providers are expecting when they engage with a master agent?
I think a lot of service providers are really just expecting that clearinghouse, that person that's going to pay the commission checks from the providers out to them. So I think that there's a lot of things that are left that could be done, but people don't really realize what master agents can do for you and what you should ask for.
I see. So you're perfectly transitioning into all my questions. So with that in mind, how can a service provider gain the most value from a master agent relationship?
It's really about connecting with what we call our internal partner support manager or their field senior partner development manager and kind of talking about your business and what you need. So Teleris specializes in lots of different marketing tools, sales engineering, project management, even as far as like taking over some of the business for them in terms of account management. A lot of our agents out there are true hunters. They want to go out and sell, and they don't want to have to worry about minding their base. And so they can turn that over to our account management team. We function as a part of their business, and we actually allow them to go and continue and get new sales while we're out there doing moves, adds, and changes and upsells for them.
So with that in mind, because you just mentioned a lot of things that maybe some of the partner members might not be aware of, some of those services. Could you dig into that a little bit? Some of the services that Teleris provides that maybe some of your partner members may not be aware of.
Sure. So one of the things we wanted to highlight was some of the things we've done around COVID-19 and some of the other marketing services. I think we're going to go to a live view of that. Is that correct?
Yes, it's right there.
Great. Okay. So if you go ahead and see the Teleris is fully operational and virtual, and our COVID-19 resources and updates are there for agents to be able to really be current in this environment. The first thing we've done is created a marketing flyer. So if you need to be able to go out to your customers and say, hey, here are the 6 things that you need to look at in terms of a remote workforce, let's get this flyer branded for you. All you have to do is send your logo, your email, your website, and your phone number to our graphic design team, and they will create that for you.
That's fantastic.
Then if we click where if we click where it says instant website content, and then we click the US version here, that'll actually take us to a page that is an interactive infographic. We've partnered with a software called Seros, and we can create these pages for partners, and by just simply adding a simple line of code to their website, they can have this page on their website instantly. So it's a great way for partners to look really current, to have some of those 6 steps to enable remote workers at the same time while they're not having to do a lot of heavy lifting. We've also partnered with our suppliers to put their logos on the bottom of this web page so that the partner can really, say, hey, these are all of my partners that I'm working with that are offering things during COVID-19. And we actually have that on a separate web page where they can see what those offers are.
And
go ahead.
I just wanted to ask you real quick is what we're looking at. This is the outlook for upcoming Teleris events and where people can go for updates and as the calendar responds to COVID-19, you can just go to one central location. Is that correct?
Exactly. So everything is at Teleris.com. Teleris.com/events has all of our event pieces. And then this page, Teleris.com/coronavirus, allows you to see all the different resources that we've put out there for people. Also includes references from material for work from home. If you wanted to write a blog, we've got some great content there for you. How to sell Zoom video conferencing, some heightened cybersecurity risks that maybe people aren't thinking of that they need to be able to walk through. And then we've listed all of those free UCaaS trials on that coronavirus website. If you scroll down, you'll see all of those different ones there, including one from our friends there at StratusWorks. So lots of great offers there.
That's great. I want to finish with one question, Amy, because I am concerned about you and the company. What is the outlook for upcoming Teleris events in general?
You know what? We've put a pause on all of our events right now. So we've realized that people, aren't in a place where they can go outside. Obviously, I live in Southern California. We have to wear masks wherever we go out now, and understand that it's just not the right time to be thinking about that. The first event on our calendar officially is our Telarus Partner Summit. That is August 11th through 14th in Nashville, Tennessee. So our hope is that all of this, peaks here in the next couple of weeks, and then we can see the downturn and we can get back to normal over the next few months and really enjoy Partner Summit. But all of our events will be going forward have a virtual or a hybrid event to them, so that if there are people that aren't able to travel or aren't able to make it somewhere, we'll still be able to catch them up, educate them, and be able to connect with them on a person-to-person level at some point.
Fantastic. Amy Bailey of Telarus, thank you so much for your time today. You stay safe out there in Southern California.
Thanks. My pleasure. You too.
All right. Okay, serious question. What happens when your what happens when your prospect already knows you have a great solution and they just want a quick quote? Now, for some MSPs, this is the moment when a sale is lost because of a slow, archaic, or even cumbersome quoting process. Now, John Young and his team at AirSpring don't have that problem. In fact, they've got the solution.
So our QuoteSpring tool is a great tool for agents and our master agents as well, to be able to provide real-time online quoting, your proposal, your contracts. Being able to create those things on demand is critical. Your customer today as an agent could be dealing with several others, could be brokering that deal around direct. We don't sell direct, so we want to get you that quote really quickly so you can get it back in the hands of your customer. But there are 8 things that we feel like are very special about our quoting tool. One is the fact that you can do these things very quickly. It's, as I mentioned, it's real time, it's online. You have direct access into it. And if you don't feel comfortable using it, you can certainly utilize your channel manager, and we can walk you through that. Or master agents. Master agents have access into our quoting tool as well, and that provides a lot of access options for agents. As I say, get it in minutes rather than days or weeks. There's a lot of carriers that have manual processes just for standard pricing. We provide that real-time pricing. Virtually every location in the United States as an address, you can get that information. Now, the fourth thing is, we're going to tell you who's at the address, what kind of connectivity speeds and services are available for that location. And that gives you the options to take back to your customer and say, here's what is available at these locations. Very important information as you start to set expectations for the deal. But not only with US, we can now provide quotes internationally. You maybe have a hotel in London that you want to quote services for. We can do that through our QuoteSpring tool. One of the really cool things about our QuoteSpring tool is that we integrate with nearly 30 carriers. So you can rest assured that customers are well taken care of. Having access to 30 of the largest carriers in the United States does make a very good difference to provide those real-time quoting. Another reason that we can do that is you can put multiple speeds and services, SD-WAN, maybe it's hosted PBX, global SD-WAN, maybe it's SIP trunking. You can provide multiple services, multiple locations and speeds on a single quote. Being able to provide all of that integrated into one quote is huge for our customers. Now, the final thing in point 8 is instant access to the proposal and the order form. Certainly the most important thing about gathering these quotes and information is access to the quote and the contract and the order form to be able to send it directly to the customer. You do all the hard work to prospect, to find the customer, to fill their needs, and to create the solution. You want to be able to sell it quickly without any difficulty, tracking down the paperwork. We give you that access right from the QuoteSpring quote tool. Create that proposal, send the quote order form, get the business, and then we're off to installation and project management.
I want to thank our guests today, Dan Foster with Stratusworks, Heather Lindemann-Shelby with Intelisys, Michael Brennan at QoS, Amy Bailey with Telarus, and of course, John Young at AirSpring. And remember, connect with us and let us know how we can help you tell your story. We'll be back next week. Same UCaaS time, same UCaaS channel. Seriously? Who wrote that? I'm Larry Brantley, and I'm going to have a conversation with the writers. We'll see you next week. Until then, be safe, keep your distance, but always, no matter what, stay connected.